Welcome in to, dare I say, a special edition of Sport Ball because I'm here. With me, as always, are my good friends Seth and Kyle. But I don't give a shit. You see them every week. To my right, off camera, for those YouTube watchers, is our good friend Nick Cornell. Whomst is on the episode because we are drafting all-time NBA teams. Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, you can't put me on camera. Viewers do not need to see that. Your viewership would just go down.
It can't go down any farther than it already is. Am I right, boys?
That's true.
Yeah. So today we are drafting all-time NBA teams. 4 teams, 4 men, 1 dream, a draft in order. 8 players, 1 coach. Is it 8 players, Seth? I don't even remember.
Historically, we've done 10, but
Great, we'll do 10. Seth, tell them the rules. Tell them kind of the guidelines.
well, first of all, I'll just say, why are we doing this? Just because it's fun.
The podcast?
Overdue.
You
Because,
want to hang up now?
we did it 4 years ago. So,
And with that, I'm out.
like most of our podcasts, this one is just for us. Listeners be damned. And yeah, basically, the parameters are via snake draft. You're drafting players as if your team will play a full regular season plus playoffs. You want to draft the best team that you think will win the finals. You get everyone at their peak, but injuries are a factor. So if you draft an injury-prone player, they're more likely to get injured during your season than otherwise. So I think that's about it.
I think that was a good overview, Seth. And
It
I
was
appreciate-
decent.
Kyle thinks it was decent.
I'll take decent.
Kyle, can you find some sort of draft randomizer thing? What about that thing where we all put our fingers in or whatever?
Oh, I got that. Yeah.
Although
What the
Seth's
fuck
gonna
is it
I'll put
called?
my finger in.
Yeah, we can put.
I'll
your
put a
fingers
second
in,
finger
yeah.
in for you, Seth. I'm not just
Also,
talking.
are we doing it where whoever,
What is it called?
like, we get to decide what pick we want? If you get
No,
first, no, we just go, you get. Keep it simple.
we're gonna do a snake draft. Gotta keep it snake, okay, people?
Yeah.
For those youth at home.
Starts with a Z, doesn't it?
Kyle is currently Googling Zach Taylor.
Nice. See my draft them.
I've lost the app.
We should mention that 4 years ago, when we did this all-time NBA draft, Kyle drafted Dennis Schroeder. Kyle, any thoughts?
Did I?
And PJ Tucker, didn't you?
No.
I still have it. Actually, he drafted Robert Covington 4 years
That's
ago,
what. Big
The
Big
previous
Bobby.
time-
All
did
great.
which I believe was in like
That's
26.
what's beautiful about these is you take a nice snapshot in time.
Well, I'm not sure most people's snapshot in time would have included Robert Covington, but I digress.
Schwazi. Here we go.
all right, Seth, I got a finger for me and a finger for you.
All right.
My right finger's for me, my left finger's for you.
All right.
All right, I'm first.
Okay.
This is for Seth. Wait. Yeah, now
You're
my left
first.
finger is for Seth.
Nick is
Make
second.
a second. This is riveting podcasting.
All right.
This is still for Seth.
Seth is third. I'm
Seth is
fourth.
third.
Bring up the caboose. How I always want it,
Excellent.
baby.
Third is exactly what I wanted. My lucky number.
All right, I'm
His
first.
lucky number is third. If you were
Third.
wondering.
Got his ass.
right.
I'll keep the spreadsheet going, and if everyone forgets who they have, I can share a screen so y'all can see it.
Excellent. I'm going first. I'll take a man by the name of Michael Jordan.
Who?
Ever heard of him? We're gonna keep him off the casinos. We're gonna keep him off the golf course. We're gonna keep him focused this
What's your
season.
rationale?
What did he ever do well?
All right.
Well, follow that
Father
up.
killed. Oh.
I suppose to follow that up. I'll take Bobby Covington. No.
You
I'll take
bitch.
Big Dick Bobby.
I'll take LeBron James.
I'm not.
LeJean Brames himself?
Does he mean junior?
Bronny.
See, this
He's
is
averaging 1
I do
point per
not
game
mean
in the
Bronny,
preseason.
but
You-
Bronny might just be my last pick to
I was
really
gonna say
boost team morale.
for the vibes, you gotta take Bronny 10th.
Well, with a steal at number 3.
I feel like we all got who we want, honestly.
Yeah, I think we all did. So I will take the greatest winner of all time in any sport, Bill Russell.
I thought he was going Nafisa College.
Wait till
Very
round
nice.
two.
Kyle, this is actually shaping up nicely for you
Is it?
with the back to back.
I don't know if I like that, to be honest with you.
I think you have a couple solid.
Well, yeah, we've picked 4 of all NBA players of all time.
Like there's some good players left.
You still have some okay players here, Kyle.
Let me go with Magic.
All
Mr.
right.
Do It All.
I like that. How could you not like that?
And then I get to run it back, but with who?
This is a tough one.
This is
There's a few
a
you could
tough
take
one.
here.
I want to go Larry, but I think I'm gonna go Shaq. Give me Shaq,
I like that.
Who's guarding Shaq?
right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Debo's.
Even Shaq right now, honestly.
That's what
Ooh,
I'm saying.
All right, so Snake. So Seth, you're next, right?
Yep. Looking at my big board here.
It's huge.
Few different ways I could go here. But as I've been reflecting, I really want to think about team concept.
Here we go. He's gonna take
Sure.
Anthony Davis like he does every year.
Make sure I've never taken Anthony Davis in all-time
And Klay
draft. So.
Thompson. He's like they have a certain set of skills.
So given that I have Bill Russell already, and I'm looking for unique skills that I'm not going to get if it comes back around, give me Steph Curry.
fuck. That's just that's just a solid pick.
Nick hates it.
No, I mean that's such a solid pick. I was gonna take him too because he just gives you the best shooting in NBA history and doesn't need the ball.
It's just a different element. Like, do I think he's better than Larry Bird all time? No. But when
Maybe
it's an
you'd
all-time
understand.
draft like this, I can approximate, Larry Bird's contributions to the team with somebody else, whereas nobody really gets close to what Steph does. And especially since I already have a non-shooter, I wanted to balance that out a bit.
I know he's gonna talk me into like, oh, I have the most shooting and the most defense, like he does every time. All right.
All right, it's back
Nicholas.
to me. I'm looking at LeBron handling the ball. I'm gonna pair him with just elite defense and a guaranteed bucket for when LeBron gets bogged down.
Don't do
I'm
it.
gonna go with Tim Duncan.
Wow.
Timmy.
Tim would make his way back to me.
I mean, that's just
No way
elite
Tim Duncan would get
level
back to him.
defense, basketball IQ. We're unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with LeBron and Tim Duncan. I mean, it's hard to argue with any of these top two.
You mean no way Tim would make it back to me?
That's not what I said. That would be what, 1, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 you pick?
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. I was thinking
Think draft,
I
Kyle.
picked 4 and then I picked 4 again, but I'm 8 later.
All right.
Yeah.
Maps.
It'd
So
be 12. So
Nick, you took Tim Duncan.
Correct.
I have Shaq on this list twice.
That sounds about right.
You might as well just share your screen now, Seth, because I've already forgotten who I would draft.
Yeah, honestly, me
Okay.
too. I think I have someone. Michael Jordan, could it be?
They're gonna say Michael Scott.
Okay.
y'all can see that, right?
That's
Is
perfect.
it your
Steph.
phone? Oh, it's your iPad.
What
With
is?
detachable keyboard?
The screen is very small. And by small I mean it's not horizontal.
Oh, it's just the win. I just have the window
got it.
smaller
Okay,
so
got
that
it.
I can see all of y'all.
All right, so I have back-to-back picks here. Pretty easy in my opinion. I'm going first of all.
Really easy, he says.
I mean, I'm going to take Kareem, who some might argue is the greatest player of all time. I have him third, but maybe fourth behind Bill if I'm feeling salty. I mean, who's stopping his skyhook? No one. Thank you.
Bill Russell is, but
You could
yeah,
just put
not really.
Kareem. You don't have to make my column extra big to put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. By the way,
I like to keep it formal.
Abdul.
you can
Although
put
I did just put Magic and Shaq, so
you can put Lou Alcindor to it if you want. That's fine.
That's
Uh,
your third pick.
No.
I wouldn't dead name.
I want his alter ego. And then for my next pick, I'll take Larry Bird, please.
All right.
I need some shooting on this team.
Larry Legend.
I mean, in my opinion, those are like basically the 4th and 6th best players of all time, and I think they fit well with Michael.
You think we give a shit about your opinion?
No, I don't think you do. That's why no one tunes into this podcast.
They certainly don't tune in for your personalities.
I feel great with Michael, Kareem, and Larry.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all gonna feel great about all of our picks
starting
because there's only 4 of us.
All right. Well,
Don't
the-
you dare fucking do it now.
the shit went a little sideways for me because I was really hoping to get Steph with the second pick to try and have LeBron be the primary ball handler.
Will Chamberlain's just staring at us. He said, "I've scored 100 in a game. What does that mean to you guys?"
Let me tell you what.
It
There's
was against a bunch of
no chance I draft Wilt.
I don't know if anyone's gonna draft one.
Yeah, Wilt's fallen to the last round for sure. This I don't know if this pairing's gonna work, but
If listeners are wondering why Kyle gasped, it was an easy slant to Juwan Jennings over the middle, and Brock Purdy missed it.
It was a completely missed interception.
I'll take Juwan with my 10th pick.
You
with-
bastard!
and with the 10th overall pick in this draft, I will take Kobe Bryant.
Mm,
Wow, interesting.
Maybe
I mean,
It's all
LeBron and Kobe.
making it to 12, dude.
you're gonna just try to try out Walmart Michael Jordan against Michael Jordan.
That's accurate.
That's a good stretch.
I'm gonna hope that he can learn to play off ball. This is like one of the last times we did this. I drafted Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas,
Oh.
and I said I'm gonna hope they can learn to get along. I'm just gonna bank here on Kobe learning to be an off-ball player.
I think that's fair.
I mean, pairing him with LeBron and Tim is pretty solid leadership wise. So
I don't know. LeBron might give him a couple side eyes.
yeah, but they played on the Olympic team together at least.
Two Laker legends.
True.
Mm.
I'm wearing one of their jerseys right now.
All right.
That's what
Well,
it is.
with my third pick for the listeners out there, I started off. I have Steph Curry and Bill Russell, and I'm gonna add somebody who Steph has played with in real life, which is Kevin Durant.
Solid pick.
Yeah. That's probably who I should have gone with instead of Kobe, because he would have been
I love everyone's team.
longer, better defense, and,
Longer.
certainly longer in all the right ways.
Way worse haircut though. All right, Kyle. You know what to do.
Man, this is tough. I'm heavily debating between two. It's technically power forwards.
You could go for an all-time Lakers squad, Kyle.
Ooh.
With
I
James
could.
Worthy.
I feel like I should go Giannis, but I think I'm gonna go Kevin Garnett. Give me Kevin Garnett.
Wow,
I love Kevin Garnett, dude.
stolen from my clutches.
He might be one of my favorite players of all time.
Yeah.
And by might be, I mean he's in the starting 5.
That one hurts,
Another
Kyle.
one,
I do.
I'm
go
hurt.
with
I'm
him.
personally hurt by that.
Good. My night's done. Who else do I want? So I got point guard. I got a shooting guard. I got a big power forward.
I don't think Shaq is your shooting guard. I'm not sure why you
Did I
said
pick
that.
shooting guard?
He could be though. He can do anything.
I was thinking to myself that I need a shooting guard, and I said it out loud as if
Right.
I had one.
Right.
And I don't know who I want because I thought Kobe was gonna fall to me to 12.
As if
Let's see. This is tough. How about
Mm-hmm.
what if I just get crazy and I just go Giannis in here and just have a massive squad?
I think this is a good time for Giannis.
I think I'm gonna go Giannis. Give it to me.
All right.
I don't know how we're gonna score on Kyle.
You're not gonna score.
is this where I point out though that Kyle has Magic, Shaq, KG, and Giannis, and not one of them can hit a 3-point shot?
This
Yeah.
is what
We're old school basketball,
KG, no,
baby.
KG will adapt.
We're old school.
He said, "Oh, we're playing in 2024. I'll pop out further."
He honestly just would have been like if they had asked him to shoot threes during his career, he just would have been Chris Bosh, but a better defender.
You wash Chris
Garnett?
Bosh's name out of your mouth,
I mean, I love me some Chris Bosh, but
but you won't look like a dinosaur.
that's true. Actually, that's really true.
All right, Seth. You need a shooting guard. Or maybe a wing. I don't know what your plan is for Kevin.
He doesn't either.
For the
So
listeners at home, he took a 10-second pause to
Stroking
be
his
silent,
beard.
even though this is a podcast.
all right. I mean, there's I just feel like he's fallen too far. And
It's
I
a
gotta
shame.
take Wilt.
I mean, you have to.
At this
And it's
point,
funny because that's his. Bill and Wilt were the,
Built.
they were
Bill
built
would-
stiff.
Bill would stay at Russell at Wilt's house, so they could definitely share the floor. And honestly, even if I'm bringing Wilt off the bench, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous. So
Did you see that video I sent you? I know you did because you commented on it the other day of Wilt and Bill in an interview, and Wilt said, "I went to a therapist to try to fix my free throws. By the end of the month, the therapist was shooting free throws better than me." And then Bill just died laughing.
I watched that video 10 times before you sent it to me.
I laughed and cried at the same time when I watched it.
I love Bill's laugh. One of
I
the
know
great iconic things about him.
exactly. All right, Kyle.
That's actually me.
Not me. It's Nick.
Oh, sorry, Nick.
That's all right.
You have LeBron, Tim Duncan, and Kobe Bryant so far.
I will be
Nicky
taking.
like that.
Oh.
I will be taking someone that I thought about taking way earlier, and was hoping he'd fall. And I will be taking Hakeem, the Dream.
The Dream. He was next on my big board.
And it's a big board with him on it.
Massive. All right. That's solid. I'm looking at my squad. I got Michael Jordan, Kareem, and Larry Bird. We're feeling good about ourselves. I need a little more shooting,
Don't do it.
so I'm going to take Seth's beloved. Some say Seth has peed on his house. I'll take Dirk Nowitzki. Was that who you wanted me to say? He doesn't care.
Kyle's deeply invested in this podcast.
This is every week.
All right, so I have a shooting guard. I have a center. I have a small forward, and I have a power forward. I could take a point guard. Decisions. Oscar Robertson's still there. Jerry West still there. Oh boy, this is a tough one. All right, might I have a moment to think about this? I feel like I just need a point guard. I just to set Michael Jordan up, All right, you know what? I'll take Oscar.
Alrighty.
Taking the big O.
The big O, baby.
He's got. I see you've drafted like all like much like, well, I guess Dirk's not, but like much older players, and I feel like that's, if you're gonna draft Oscar, you have to draft older players because he doesn't respect these young guns.
No, he does not.
All right, I am gonna pull quite the move out of left field here, and I gotta throw back to one time we did this. Seth had a starting lineup that I feel like had nobody who was like shorter than like 6'10", 6'11", and he made the point that like, you're doing this, you're not constrained by normal team building, so why would you not just have massive, highly skilled players? So I'm not
Great
saying
point by me.
yeah, it is. I'm not saying he's my starting five because LeBron will be running point for my starting five. But I'm going to take shooting. I'm going to take size. I'm going to take passing. I'm taking Jokic.
Ooh, nice. I thought about taking him was my pick there. So
I mean, Nick, I don't think that's like out of left field at all. I feel like this is about where he is ranked all time.
no, he's
Oh, I
yeah.
agree. I mean, more so because I already have a center and a power forward.
Yeah.
And all that, like, and I have no guards. But it's
Right.
like, well, what do I need
Sure.
guards for if I have the two of the best passers in NBA history and they're
Sure.
massive?
yeah.
All right. All right.
Spot for Jokic for sure. In fact, he was next on my big board, Nick.
It's almost like I have your big board.
Oh, Kittle, good. We needed that.
All right. So
Thank God I started Purdy tonight, boys.
Needed this in guillotine.
I feel like I've got the stars of my team ready to go. I've got scorers with Curry and Durant and Wilt dominating the post. So I want to lean into my defense to go along with Bill Russell here, but also a dominant offensive player. Give me good old Scottie Pippen.
I love that.
Nice.
5th on my big board right now, if you were wondering. But given your team construction, 1st in my eyes.
Thank you.
All right, Kyle, double ducker,
Mm-hmm.
ready
Yeah.
for you.
I think I'm gonna lean in here and go 2 guards. I kind of need it. Definitely need shooting too. So if Steph's off the board, I'm gonna take the next best shooter of all time in Ray Allen.
Wow. Okay.
I like that. I feel like Ray in these scenarios, like, yeah, he might be whatever, the 40th best player of all time, but given when you're drafting an all-time team,
Knocked
like,
down.
he's much more valuable. Yeah.
Yeah. And then to add some dynamism, is that the word?
Yeah,
Dynamism?
that felt right.
That feels right.
Yeah, add some dynamism to the guard rotation here. Give me Dwayne Wade.
Hey Wade, baby.
I love Dwayne Wade, dude.
Dwayne himself. Kyle's got some of the fan favorites there with Wade and Garnett.
That's what I'm going for this year.
Saucy.
I love your team. I love everyone's team.
I also think Kyle did a really smart thing there. He picked Ray Allen before Wade, so that
Yes.
Wade would have a chip on his shoulder.
Yes, that's exactly what
That's what
I
I did.
thought about it too.
I thought about doing that with Kareem and Larry.
They gotta know. There's levels to this.
Well, I thought Kyle was gonna snipe me with the way he introduced the player he just drafted. But he didn't. So I will go ahead and take Klay Thompson.
See,
And-
did I not tell you maybe 18 hours ago that Seth was going to take Klay Thompson in this exercise?
I mean, why would that? That's
Just
not really a
assemble
bold
the-
call. We all
All
know
right,
I
take
love
Anthony
Klay.
Davis next
Just
too.
assemble the Warriors. Why not?
Yeah, so I basically got the greatest team of all time, but then you add in Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, and Scottie Pippen.
You're missing
That's not
Draymond
bad.
Green on your
Yeah.
team.
You ever heard of someone?
you think I'm
named-
gonna draft him?
You ever heard of someone named Festus Ezeli? Come on now.
I'm getting Sean Livingston next. Don't worry.
Oh,
Fuck.
Oh man, I was not ready for this pick.
it's getting tough now.
There's still obviously we could say that for another 50 picks. There's still a lot of good players left.
You don't
What?
say. I just like I do find myself looking at guards in this exercise and just like wondering like why would I pick them for the most part?
Mhm.
Because like they
Mhm.
just don't have the size to, you know. But at this point I am gonna take a guard. I'm gonna take the logo and take Jerry West.
Number 1 on my
Cam
big-
wanted him.
I fucking love Jerry West.
Yeah, I mean just high IQ player. He can play off ball if needed.
Your team needed that more than mine though. So,
Yeah, we need more IQ as to how we're gonna make this all work.
all right. As my first player off the bench, give me the round mound of rebound, baby. Chuck
Figured you would go
Charles
soon.
Barkley. One of my favorite players of all time.
I mean, the vibes on your team just skyrocketed.
Immaculate.
The round mound.
All right.
The women in San Antonio are so nice.
Man. Let me ask you a question. So if I draft a player, right, and their peak hasn't occurred yet,
You're gonna take Wemby.
Is
to do it?
I was thinking about it. Like, do I get him at his
No.
peak? Huh? I get him right
You-
now.
I think you got him
We
right now.
can't forecast a peak. That's
Yeah.
the-
Well, you did so with Dennis Schroeder.
I didn't forecast it.
No, he's already the greatest.
So I get.
He's been living at the peak his whole career. What are you talking about?
So if I take Wemby, I get him now.
Yeah.
Is that
Still might take him. All right, I probably won't take him.
I'm gonna get.
But my
Mr.
God, he might
Bobby
get.
Covington, and he might take.
I mean,
Wemby
he's
here?
already a top 15 player. Robert Covington was never a top 15 player.
Depends on who you ask.
All right, well, just give me Luca then.
Wow, interesting.
I need a backup point guard. I think he's already better than like Stockton, maybe Isaiah CP3. He's just so big.
There's one.
We'll just attack him relentlessly too.
He's on my bench. It's fine. I don't care.
Oh, this is tough because again, my team has so much size, and now I'm just realizing we just don't have a ton of ball handling outside of LeBron and Jerry West.
Oh, you got Jokic too, but
That is fair. I mean, what am I even saying? All right. Well,
I'm
in that
upset I
case,
didn't take Victor, honestly.
let's get back to the big men. I think. Hmm. You know what? No, I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna get my spot up shooter here.
give it to me.
I'm gonna take Reggie Miller.
Reggie,
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Reggie.
I'm worried I don't have enough shooting. Aren't you always worried about that though?
Not me. I have Jokic and Reggie Miller.
All right.
Okay, so let's see here.
Oh, we said we're going 10 players, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go again. I think sometimes I'm drafting for fit, but I feel like I have all the pieces that I need. And similar to Wilt, here's another player who I just feel like has fallen too far. So give me Moses Malone. And then I have, I believe, the three greatest rebounders of all time, with maybe the possible exception of Dennis Rodman in there.
Kareem.
Kareem was a
No,
good rebounder.
An offensive flag.
I want you to say he was great.
Kyle or Seth just mentioned Dennis Rodman, and I feel like I have to show you guys. I'm looking at like lists of all-time great players. This picture of Dennis Rodman is truly wild.
His foot is above his head for those viewers at home.
Mm.
All right, Kyle, you got back-to-back picks.
I'm not prepared. I think I'm gonna keep leaning into the guard play here, and to come off the bench, run an offense, hit threes, step back specifically.
Oh God, it's happening
Oh,
already.
no.
Give me James Harden.
And give
You
him
can have him.
give him L's.
You can have him all day and twice on Sunday.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm done. I don't need anyone else.
Don't want another pick. Then.
You forfeit your next two picks, Kyle.
I have 3 more, right?
Two. Yeah, you're right. I was looking at the numbers on the side, and I was counting Kyle as one of your players.
That's okay.
Kyle Irving.
Man.
George Mikan still on the board.
Georgie Mike.
I just don't know how George is gonna like. It's not a peach basket anymore. You know what I'm saying? How is he gonna translate to today's game?
Is he gone yet? Yeah, he's gone.
All right, whatever list I'm looking at, by the way, is now officially bunk because I'm looking at top centers of all time, and Joel Embiid is listed above Bill Walton.
Get the fuck
Jesus Christ.
I'm
Joel
closing
Embiid shouldn't
that-
even be
I'm
on the list.
closing
out. Close
that
this
tab.
tab. Close it.
Let's see. I feel like I shouldn't take another guard, but man, I really want to.
Mhm,
Oh my
mhm.
god. I'm gonna go with Allen Iverson.
Ugh,
AI,
he's
baby.
gonna be so upset about that.
If
I
James
was-
Harden wasn't the answer, then I got him now, baby.
I was about to say, I can't think of another player who would pair better with James Harden.
Kyle's got the fan favorites except for Harden, which reduces all of his other fan
Yeah,
favorites.
if he didn't have a Harden, I would love
5,000.
his team.
All right, well, I I need some more ball handling and playmaking
Mhm.
because really I just have Steph running things. So give me John Stockton.
Mm. Fourth on my big board.
I think
I don't think I've taken a single player from Sam's big board tonight. He hasn't mentioned it once.
James Harden was 205th.
It's low
Uh,
for your standards.
I think you can make an argument that players like Isaiah Thomas and maybe even Chris Paul are better than John Stockton at point guard.
Mhm.
But again, all-time team, Stockton's a much better defender than both of those players.
I don't know about
Uh,
that.
I don't know
Really?
about that.
CP3
I was
in
gonna
his
say-
prime
I
was
was
a really
gonna
good
say
defender.
CP3 I highly debated too.
And
That's
like,
true. He was a good defender, often led the league in steals, but still undersized. So
I mean,
I
he's
feel like
small. Yeah, he's smaller for sure.
yeah, I feel like teams could hunt him still. So I feel better with Stockton as a perennial all defensive team and a little bit stockier, if you will.
Oh, I mean, you can't go wrong with John Stockton.
So I feel good about that.
It is
What do you think?
surprising, not surprising really, that no one's taking Karl Malone, who's probably top 20 all time, but
Yeah, no
he's
one wants
always
a
faded in
rapist,
the playoff.
and
Also,
he's a rapist.
Don't
So
want the allegations that's attached to my team.
Right.
not even
My team-
allegations.
I-
I mean,
I was
Yeah,
gonna-
that's true. They're not
he
allegations.
impregnated
gonna
a
say me
14-year-old
too,
or
but
whatever. So
I have the late Kobe Bryant on my team.
That's true.
that's
Oh.
true.
Yeah, so I did want to call out the whole rules of this game, saying that you're trying to win for a season, and if a
Mhm.
player's got an injury history, that injury history is like likely to crop up in this hypothetical.
Sure.
I would have taken Kawhi.
I know.
2 to
I was
3
thinking-
rounds
I
ago,
debated Kawhi in mine.
but
I
you
agree.
can't.
He's such
All
a
of us
weird
have
player.
considered Kawhi.
You literally just can't.
We've all heavily considered him.
But
But I feel like now's the range for Kawhi, no?
I mean, hey, if you want to waste a spot in this draft, but
I mean, now
will-
like you wouldn't be counting on him if he's your 8th guy or 9th
Right,
guy.
like I'm not counting on Robert Covington.
I will be taking Anthony Davis.
Oh,
Who is it?
Anthony Davis,
Anthony.
he has a
Other-
certain set of skills.
perennial all defensive team, can space the floor when needed.
Can he though?
Rebounds.
Are you taking him at the one season he shot well from 3?
You know,
Are you taking him in the bubble?
have you seen his unibrow?
All right, I like that pick. For my first pick, I got to take Julius Irving. I mean,
Your first.
Of two,
he's fallen
he's
way
got
too
2
long.
picks.
He was 13th in the ESPN's ranking of top 75 all time. I
You know
wouldn't
ESPN doesn't lie.
I wouldn't put him that high, but I think he's definitely fallen too far.
That's fair.
All right, now I have a few choices here. So I have my starting 5 locked in stone. Coming off my bench, I have 2 forwards and a point guard. Feels like I might need a backup big. Maybe another backup wing. There's a lot of good players left here. Feels like it might be Kawhi time, but I just don't know if I can count on him.
I mean, it's a respectable play. He is like, if you're talking just about peak, like he is one of the greatest players ever, by far.
I know, and George Mikan's staring at me with his fucking goggles.
George
said,
Mikan.
What goggles? That man had glasses on. He played with glasses.
He said, "Please draft me." I'm also considering. I have considerations for John Havlicek, who famously hit a shot over Nick for.
Just had to bring that up.
I will send
No
you
intention
right
of
now.
drafting
It
him.
feels right for me to
I
have
will walk out of this podcast.
him. I'm looking at the top 75 now. We've taken most of the top 20 or so. Julius fell way too low. I might just do it. I've always had a soft spot for John Havlicek. You know, it feels right. Just give me John
I'm down.
Havlicek.
All right.
You know he's got the late game
You-
heroics in him, baby.
For once, you sniped my big board.
I mean, he did win 8 championships. That's not 0.
I also kind
I
of thought
scoff at
that
that.
if I drafted Havlicek, then you wouldn't be able to use this shot against me. But
Send the listeners the shot. We'll post it on YouTube. The greatest shot of all time, some say.
Yes.
this is tough. When you get sniped, it's pretty tough. It's tough because like fucking Havlicek just did so many things.
Let
you
me
know what I'm saying?
describe to you what happened in this 2K game against Nick. All right, I'm down 2. Havlicek tries to pass it to a big, ball gets deflected back to Havlicek. He's at the logo at this point. Pulls up for 3. And what happens, Nick?
He hits it.
That's right, he does.
All right. I am gonna take a chance here.
Hit me.
You know, you only need to play 5 players. If this guy never plays,
Is that true, Seth?
he's gonna contribute to the winning culture.
Okay.
I'm taking Wemby.
I think that's fine.
Who?
I mean, I almost took him 2 rounds ago, so.
Victor Wembanyama.
Wemby?
Yes. Was I seduced by the footage of him and Chris Paul playing in their first preseason game? Yes.
Do you have CP3 too?
No.
Not yet.
Does anyone? That feels like an oversight.
That's a good pick. I mean, as you know, before I took Luca, I thought about taking him. That was 2 rounds ago. So
Well, I had to take Wemby before Kyle picked again because I feel like Kyle was going to take him.
he has that look in his eyes, doesn't he?
He does.
He has that look like I might take Dennis Schroeder and Robert Covington back to back to round up my bench.
Look at his fucking face.
What are you thinking, Seth?
So I'm considering lots of players here, if you believe it. Some who I feel like it's kind of surprising we haven't picked yet include David Robinson.
Mm-hmm. I thought about that instead of John Havlicek.
Yeah, but he's kind of redundant on my team when I already have Wilt and Moses. It's kind of like and
I
Bill
just feel like
Russell.
in today's game too, like a lot of the power forwards we're picking could play center more readily than they could in the past. Like Charles Barkley, like Dirk, like I feel I could get away with that more than at the time they played.
And there's just like we talked about projecting. Okay, if Kevin Garnett could play now, he'd shoot
Yeah.
more threes or something. Like, I don't. You could say that about a lot of players, but there's also players like David Robinson who I just feel like the skill set was more limited, and I just don't see that as
Mhm.
something they could have done.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I'm also considering some injury-prone players like Bill Walton,
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi
Also
Leonard,
considered him.
previously mentioned.
Second best passing big man of all time.
Yeah. And it's one of those where if he's your 9th guy, I could just keep him on the bench the entire regular season.
Like
Don't
a
let him get
Ferrari in the
injured.
garage.
Yeah.
How funny would it be if Seth took Rudy Gobert here?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I've got the original Bill Russell and now the modern day Bill Russell, Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
That's disgusting.
Hang up the Zoom.
I would never do that. All right, but really what it comes down to is I don't have nearly enough Celtics on my team. So
The last pick.
Chris,
There's
what
White.
is
let's rectify this. And I'm gonna take
McHale.
Kevin McHale.
He's got one more pick after this.
He does have one more pick,
Oh
but
my
don't tell him
God,
that.
seriously?
Well, he'll take Derek White with the last pick, so don't worry about it.
You wish. You're close though, Sam.
No, but he went down.
Oh, smart. All right, Kyle, you're up for back to back, baby.
These are my last 2 picks.
And as always, there'll be players that will never stand the
No, I might
time.
I might surprise you here.
Really?
honestly. Yeah. I have a lot of after starting off with very little guard depth,
Mm-hmm.
I went heavy in them the last 4 rounds straight.
Yes, you have.
So let me get some big men going.
Mm.
And unless my eyes mistake me, and I don't think they do, this man hasn't been picked.
Mm-hmm.
He famously went off for a 50-point, 25 rebound game in a finals.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Bob Pettit.
Wow. Rumor has it he's racist, though.
Perfect for my team.
Literally the only.
And then on that note, fuck potential injuries. No one's done it yet, so give me Kawhi. It
Yeah.
seems like it's way too
It's definitely
too
time.
late.
He can't go undrafted. I mean,
I love the looks of it.
love your team. Seth, what are you thinking?
So do I do the completely homer pick or the only slightly homer pick?
Completely homer pick. Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens. My plan all along with my last pick is who I'm going to take, but I will say, give it like I've just mentioned this. I think Bill Walton would probably be the best pick here because he's your 10th guy and he's like at his peak, one of the top 15 players ever, but could get injured. Also a Celtic. But you know what? I'm just going to pick with my heart for my last player, channel a little bit of Kyle taking Dennis Schroeder. And I'm going to take two-time champion, Olympic gold medalist,
Holiday. Mhm.
my favorite player currently in the league, elite defender, Drew Holiday.
Just say it already.
Mm.
Worst player on this list, washed.
Well, you get him at his peak, so he's not washed.
But you're washed. All right.
All right, so
Nick, what are you thinking?
I've been debating. Do I have to take the coach last, or can I take it now?
You can take the coach now if you want.
We get to draft a coach,
Yeah.
Correct.
so I have one more round to go.
Yeah.
Shit.
No, let's say you have to draft a player now and then we draft coaches.
All right, that's fine.
That'll be cleaner.
No, he can do whatever he wants.
We have a breakout video coming.
Breakout videos coming. I gotta draft the coach slate then, because you want to group those together for maximum views, right?
SEQ.
All right, I'm looking. I feel like what I don't have, oddly enough, are enough wings. I have basically LeBron. What was that? What was that?
Nothing. You have LeBron. Yeah, what's
You could
going on with you?
Say Reggie's
Reggie.
a wing, but
Reggie's a wing.
Reggie would be a small wing.
and
I'm gonna
Kobe
go Elgin
also is
Baylor.
kind of a small wing.
Elgin, it's a crime Elgin hasn't been drafted yet. He's probably the 20th best player of all time.
Well, now he's on my
Yeah.
team, behind Wemby.
Remember
And he
that
knows
kid. All right, I have one more pick. I'm between David Robinson, you've heard of him.
Have I?
Isaiah Thomas, you've heard of him. And Bill Walton. So I feel like my backup point guard is Luka, and I don't know why, but I feel like he's already better than Isaiah Thomas.
That is actually not correct.
I mean, if you look at like accolades, no, because Luke hasn't won a championship.
Give a shit about accolades.
But Isaiah Thomas is 6-0 soaking wet.
Who on
True.
this team is Luca playing with?
Well, he's got 9 other teammates, so 9 other players.
I'd like him with Charles and Julius. Maybe a little John Havlicek. I could take. I think Isaiah Thomas is probably the best player left. As far as bigs, I think David Robinson is the best player left, but Bill Walton is the best at his peak. And I just feel like I want Bill Walton.
The vibes, dude.
So give it to me.
The vibes would be outrageous.
May he rest in peace.
Chuck and Bill together?
Beauteous.
Okay, so we're gonna draft our coaches and then we're gonna go over our teams. But before we do, can I list honorable mentions that we didn't draft?
Based on Sam's rankings.
I think you're going to, whether we say yes or no. So go ahead.
Thank you. David Robinson, as I mentioned, Isaiah Thomas, CP3. Nick doesn't want that connection with Victor. Patrick Ewing, Jason Kidd, Steve Nash, Clyde Drexler. I'd say those are the biggest ones. I don't know if I'm missing anyone that you guys are thinking of. But I mean, those were all players that were like, top 30, but may not have fit into our team constructions. There's a lot of point guards we kind of left off because we already had them.
Yeah,
Paul
I think
Pierce.
Steve
Paul
Nash
Pierce.
was the biggest one for me.
You said Nash, I think. George Gervin,
Yeah, Gervin's another good one.
Gary Payton.
Yeah, a lot of point guards.
Dennis
Yeah,
Schroeder.
Draymond Green.
Carmelo
Dennis Schroeder.
Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony's up there for sure.
Is he though? Okay,
Seth peed in a urinal that was once shat on by Carmelo, right?
I can appreciate.
I think that checks
Carmelo.
out.
I can appreciate Carmelo being like an icon of the game for fans of basketball at that time. I just don't think he is.
He's
a
one of the
great
best
historic-
scorers. I feel like.
What about Hoodie Mello?
Now hoodie Mel.
All right, I'm gonna draft my coach. I have the first coach.
Okay,
pick.
so wait. So when I asked, "Can I draft my coach now?" You said no, so that you can have first pick of the coach. Is
That's
that what happened?
correct.
I thought that was clear that that's what was happening at the
Okay.
time. Did I seem unbiased when I said that?
So we came to church last night. We were playing church ball.
Here we go. He's gonna air our grievances on air.
Yeah, I am. Sam shows up 15 minutes late.
I was mowing the lawn.
So by the time he shows up,
Start
we're
at
already
6:30.
starting two teams playing against each other.
That's
so
correct.
we play the two teams game. So then because Sam has now shown up late, we have so many that we have to split into
I'm
three
cold.
teams.
I gotta get in there.
So then we split into three teams, and Sam says, obviously my team plays because I haven't
I'm
played
cold.
yet.
Yeah.
Let me get some
So
shots
then
up.
my team had to sit just because Sam was 15 minutes late.
That's
That's
correct.
fair.
And he's pulling
Checks
this
out.
shit again. I just want to listen.
I was clear with him the whole time, and I'm clear with him now.
Par for the course.
That's
for
important.
Sam,
Communication is important. I'll take Phil Jackson.
honestly. Phil,
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised. I feel like Nick might be getting who he wanted anyways.
Yeah, because that's how I set him up.
Yeah, I am, but I am frankly torn between two different people. One is Pop, and the other is Steve Kerr.
You gotta
Steve
let Seth
Kerr,
have
he
Steve Kerr. He
says.
has every warrior that's ever been created.
That's true. The Kerr pick would be something just because I feel like when you have this many high IQ basketball players, Steve Kerr more than any would just like let them figure it out and run the style of team they want to run. But I have Tim Duncan.
Hmm.
I'm going
Yeah.
Pop. I'm taking Pop.
That's
You
kind of what I
gotta.
thought with Michael. I mean, I have Michael. Might as well take Phil. We're running triangle, by the way.
Yeah, no shit. Good luck
Well,
with the
but
spacing.
but
And good luck with the spacing in the modern NBA running the triangle.
I will follow suit and take my best players coach, Red Auerbach.
I thought you were gonna say Bill Russell.
I would not.
Players
Bill
coach.
Bill has said that he didn't really like being player coach, and it was made it more difficult to be a player. So I wouldn't do that to him.
That's so kind of
You
you.
never done.
I know Kyle's gonna take some G League coach that he believes in because of his scheme.
No way, dude. Look at the
Nick
coaches
Nurse.
that have gone and who's still available. And
He's gonna
my
take
guy
Kyle
has
Shanahan.
chemistry with multiple players on my team, has won championships. Give me Eric Spoelstra.
I literally knew the second you guys said we were picking a coach, I was like, Kyle's ending up as Spoelstra.
Yeah. I don't think there should have ever been a question about it.
All right,
Well,
let's go.
the only question was, do you take Doc to pair him with James Harden?
Yeah, only if I want to lose in the playoffs.
Which you do.
Should-
You drafted James Harden.
So
He's off the bench.
I guess Dwayne.
All right,
and-
let's read our teams. I'll go
and
first.
Should we?
Never
You
mind.
want to say it with who your starting lineup is?
I'll
Because
say
it
it how I
might not
like, thank you,
necessarily
and I'll
be.
decide that for myself. All right, so at point guard, I have Oscar Robinson. Ever heard of him? First one to have average a triple double before it was cool. At shooting guard, I have Michael Jordan. He might be the greatest player of all time. Some people say. At the three, I have Larry Bird. He's a shooter. Remember that. At the four, I have Dirk Nowitzki, greatest shooting big man of all time. Thank you. At the five, I have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Some say he's the best player of all time. I
Some.
wouldn't.
Some.
Okay, I would not. Off the bench, we have a couple forwards, a couple guards. We have Charles Barkley and Julius Erving at the forwards. We have Luka Doncic and John Havlicek as well. Luka will be running my point at the bench, and then we have Bill Walton for vibes, and if we need him, okay, put him in the garage like a Ferrari, like Seth said. Coaching the team, we have Phil Jackson, who's the only one who has ever reined in Michael Jordan enough to run a competent team, and so he will be doing so again.
Chuck Daly on the Dream Team. Thank you very much.
You're
Chuck
welcome.
the erasure.
All right, Nick, what's your team?
All right. Well, my team is obviously the best team. So I have LeBron James running point.
Heard of him.
Yeah, you have.
You know he's a forward actually.
I've heard that, but also I think if you have the ball in your hands 90% of the time, you're a point guard. So
What about Kobe Bryant, who also has the ball 90% of the time?
he won't right now. Kobe will be at the 2.
Good.
For spacing purposes, Reggie Miller is starting at the 3.
Wow.
We have Tim Duncan at the 4 and Hakeem Olajuwon at the 5. That allows our bench unit to be run by Jerry West and Nikola Jokic.
Mm.
Mm.
Elgin Baylor at the 3 for the backups. Anthony Davis and Victor Wembanyama attempting to space the floor, and we have
I
Pop
mean-
running it all.
Love that.
Imagine driving into the lane and then having Anthony Davis and Victor Wembanyama standing there.
Incredible.
That would be pretty wild. All right. Well, my
That
team.
I just want to point out that could still happen.
True.
Yeah. It's theoretically possible. All right. So my team, I've got heavy on the Warriors dynasty team. So I've got Steph Curry starting at the point guard. I've got Clay at the 2. On the wing, 3/4, I've got Kevin Durant and Scottie Pippen. And then the greatest player of all time, Bill Russell, anchoring my defense. Second unit, I've got incredible defense at the guard position with Stockton and Drew Holiday. And they'll be dishing to the big 3 towers of Kevin McHale, Moses Malone, and Wilt Chamberlain. Over to
And
you, Kyle.
Coach.
Oh, and Red Auerbach will be coaching
Will be
everybody.
smoking cigars on the sideline or what?
That's right. After every game, because we're not going to lose.
All right, Cal. Who we got?
We have
He's thinking
in
about it.
in a wild turn of events,
Uh
starting point guard James.
Classic. Put Magic on the bench.
No, I'm joking. Give me Magic to run point, run the show. I'm gonna go Ray Allen at the 2. And this is where things get dicey. I'd like to play Kawhi because I feel like he's the real and kind of only true 3 that I have.
Why don't you low manage him though?
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So we're going big.
Mm.
I like it.
Big in the front court. Giannis,
Mm.
KG, and Shaq.
I mean, who's scoring against that, dude?
The only problem is you just guard
Sixth man of
Ray.
the year.
Everyone else
is
just
James
put him on
Harden.
the team.
Dude, you imagine trying to pass against Giannis,
Do you think
Shaq,
they
and Kevin Garnett, dude?
do you think they can call 3-second violation on 3 different people at the same time? Also, with Kawhi, I'm just curious, how does it work on this hypothetical team? Is it like the Clippers and he just kind of tells you 20 minutes before the game whether or not he's playing, or
You flip a coin halfway through to find out if it's
Yeah.
All right,
and
who
if
else
it's
you got?
heads, then yeah, he's out for 6 games at least.
Who else you got off the bench?
Wait, I have 5 other players. What do you mean? You want me to list my bench players? They're all here.
is it an audio format?
I mean, we've
podcast?
all listed our bench players, and you have not. So yes, I would.
Dwayne Wade, James Harden to relieve Magic of his duties,
Mm.
and not spread AIDS. Allen Iverson coming in to relieve those 2 when James is inexplicably in foul trouble and not hitting shots.
Inexplicably.
Bob Pettit,
Racist.
nice racist big man that can score on the run. Famously has a 50-25 game in the finals, if I haven't said that before.
Mm.
Just an outrageous stat line for a
Crazy.
white man.
For a white man, he said.
And then load managed Kawhi Leonard.
Beautiful.
Load managed Lenny, we call him. So
And who's load managing him?
none other than Eric Spoel.
It's true.
All right, beautiful. Now, if you guys were gonna pick a team besides yours that's your favorite, what are you guys thinking? Man.
Well, Kyle's is disqualified because of James Harden.
Mine's
Nick's
easy.
is disqualified because of Kobe. So Sam's team wins by default in my eyes.
Welcome home. Welcome home, King. By default is the most beautiful beautiful 2 words in the English
An
language,
added
baby.
bonus that it also has Larry.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how you could look at this and see a collection of LeBron, to much of Seth's demise, Kobe, Jokic, and Wemby, and say that's not your favorite team looking at this list that's not yours. So I gotta go Nick.
I appreciate that.
Mm. Nick, what do you think?
So Seth literally took the greatest team that I've seen, like in person. Well, since I've like been an adult, right? I used to go to like Michael Jordan's games when I was a kid, but I don't remember any of those. So
Did you
since
really?
since I can remember watching Bulls game or basketball games, the greatest team I ever saw, and Seth replaced Draymond Green with Bill Russell, or well, he replaced him with who was your Scottie Pippen,
Scotty and Bill Russell, yeah.
and then you replaced Festus Ezeli with Bill Russell. So I'm gonna go with Seth's team.
Honestly, I mean, I like Seth's team, but I think I prefer your team, Nick.
Oh, thank you.
And it has a lot of players that I thought about taking. I think Nikola off the bench with Jerry is just elite. Two of my favorite players. And I think LeBron, Timmy, just the intelligence.
Yeah.
Nick,
We
if
can all
you
agree
had
that Kyle's not our favorite team. That's for sure.
I mean, he drafted James Harden.
Nick, if you had taken Durant instead of Kobe, which I'm glad that you didn't, because then I got. But if you had taken Durant instead of Kobe, I would have liked your team the most, probably.
Yeah, that was instant regret, frankly. As soon as you were like Kevin Durant, I was like, oh my God, how did I not take Kevin Durant?
Good draft, though. We'll post the teams for our social, for our many followers in Belgium and abroad. This has been another edition of Sport Ball. Kyle, I think it's about that time where you send our listeners off with something to think about while they're looking at these All-NBA teams and going about their weekends.
If you're not dreaming of James Harden, you're not doing it right. Wet dreams, James Harden, they're all the same.
Amen.